Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Uh, my video just got fuzzy, but that's all right. So tonight, the practice and the talk are inspired by or a jumping off point, um, inspired by the teachings of Joanna Macy. Last week we kind of had also a memorial Dharma talk, kind of inspired by the death of Andrea Gibson. And this week, Joanna Macy died on Saturday. She was age 96, and so, it was a known and full and beautiful life. And, but still, it touches something when these great teachers pass. And yeah. So you likely know Joanna Macy, but if not, she was definitely an environmental activist and yeah, in all kinds of forms, and an author of 12 books. Yeah, well, a Buddhist scholar and practitioner, and a teacher of what's called deep ecology, and very, very much interwoven. I mean, you can't separate the environment, our ecology from this piece of nature that I call me. This interconnectedness, of course, with what we call the world or the earth and ourselves in this language of separation when any sort of insight and looking closely shows us these are certainly not separate things. Uh, Joanna Macy is also very well known for, there's another whole website. I've put the link to her website down below in this YouTube recording, but also there's a whole nother site around a big piece of her work called The Work That Reconnects. And many of you may have done workshops or seminars or trainings in the work that reconnects. Um, I love the titles of just a few of her books here that it just says a lot about her teachings. So one of them is called Active Hope: How to Face the Mess We're In Without Going Crazy. Boom. Enough said there. That's so good. What a great title. We've got a few talks on this channel on hope and that active hope and what the difference between that and kind of a attachment hope or egoic hope. So if you're interested in exploring hope more, you can search that on our TNI channel here, True North Insight. Love that one. Active hope, how to face the mess we're in without going crazy. Wow. Yes. Another one is called World as Lover, World as Self. And I think that was they did a third edition that was maybe a 30th anniversary of that book, and it's really well loved. The subtitle is Courage for Global Justice and Ecological Renewal, which we can all relate to. And then another one, Thinking Like a Mountain Toward a Council of All Beings. Oh, wow. A council of all beings. My goodness. Ah, beautiful. So I just wanted to drop some of those in there. You may have read some of them, or you may be inspired to search these out. I wanted to talk just okay. In this work that reconnects that she created and shared freely and widely, um, she offers the teaching as a spiral. And the Eightfold Noble Path, the middle path of the Buddha, is very much like it's got this word path translated in English, which makes it sound like some linear pursuit. Um, there, I'm fading and coming back. Uh, but it's actually more like a spiral, a deepening. Hmm, yeah, there's a word for those kind of spirals that deepen as they keep turning. Uh, where we begin with wise intention and wise view, and as we move through the whole eightfold path, as we circle back to, we have a deeper understanding then of those four noble truths and renunciation that are at the beginning of the path, and it just keeps deepening and deepening. And you've probably noticed that in your practice that mm, a lot of it is things we know, but then we hear it again. It's like, oh, it's a deeper kind of knowing, a different kind of knowing. And so beginner's mind or hearing things again and is got this quality of this spiral. In Joanna Macy's spiraling of the work that reconnects, it has four main components. Um, and the first one is coming from gratitude, gratitude, coming from gratitude. And I mostly want to talk about that tonight. But what's interesting to me is how she begins this deep and profound and priceless work with gratitude. And that becomes the foundation that gives us the capacity to move into the second part of this work that reconnects, which is honoring our pain for the world. This is deep grief work. It's and it's I think it's so important how fortifying ourselves and mm, connecting ourselves into this interconnected view in gratitude gives us the capacity, cultivates the capacity to honor our pain and grief for the world, for ourselves, for each other, all beings. And then from that gratitude and then grief work, the third aspect of the work that reconnects is seeing with new eyes. So we have to move through that kind of the phrase dark night of the soul comes up, but that's off topic. But that grief work, mm, we have to move through that. We have to turn towards the heartache and the fears and all the shadow side, if we want to use that language, which I don't. And through that, we then see with new eyes this third part, which is about connecting and visioning, especially in community, especially in Sangha, which is what this is. Mm, this work can definitely be done on our own, this work that reconnects. Absolutely. And it's also really strengthened and fortified and exponentially nurtured by doing this in community, uh, practicing gratitude, honoring our pain for the world, all of the different flavors of pain, personal, global, and and then through that, seeing with new eyes, where we connect and vision for this new world, this tipping point that we are tipped past. And the fourth part of this spiral of the work that reconnects is going forth. And that's deepening and sharing, and it's this active hope. Mm, yeah. Uh, Joanna was saying in a video, Joanna Macy, she was talking about this fourth point of going forth and someone had pointed out to her there were a couple times she had kind of either misspoken it or just in her pronunciation, it sounded like she was saying growing forth instead of going forth. And it's like, yeah, that works. It's really good, actually growing forth. So how we do this deep inner work so that we can really connect and move forward in the world, growing forth, uh, deepening and sharing what we understand. Um, and how gratitude is a revolutionary act, a counterculture, mm, submersive, liberating action to practice gratitude. Because the opposite of gratitude is a sense of mm, not paying attention, is taking things for granted. It's always wanting more, always wanting something else, always constant self-improvement, constant, uh, extracting resources from the world, crisis. Uh, Whereas when we practice gratitude, it cultivates this sense of what's another word? Gratitude, of satisfaction, of appreciation. There's the word, that appreciation of mm, mm, contentment. That and this these forms of gratitude are not dependent on external circumstances, whereas greed and consumerism and mm, capitalism and extraction are very much about get the next thing, um, external conditions. And practicing gratitude is not at all dependent on needing to have or get or be something other. It's turning towards what is with appreciation. Hmm. And because of what we know as and what has been named as our human negativity bias, which is just part of our animal nature, a survival instinct, this negativity bias that's built in, that keeps us actually wiring more in our brain to notice more of the negative things. You can see this is a fruitful thing when we're animals to uh, don't go there, and that's not no good, and like paying attention to danger all the time. Uh, and so it really takes a lot of intention and wise action and wise effort to counter the negativity bias, especially when we're so plugged in and so aware of the immense grief of the world. So it's interesting that this is the starting place for this work that reconnects gratitude, because it's really easy to feel the opposite of that. Hmm. When I practice with intention, gratitude, like, just as I'm moving about through my everyday, any day, and just noticing, yeah, the sky or the breeze or the critters or the people or having feet or uh, having teeth, having food, uh, these things, sometimes the awareness comes like these things were already here. Like you can end up at the end of the day feeling quite uplifted and abundant. And it's like that was already there. I just was not paying attention to it, right? Uh, and so, what helps us cultivate gratitude is mindfulness, sati, mindfulness, and intention. There is a certain mental energy to pay attention that is required, and that's also required in meditation. Uh, but also expression. So naming it, either for ourselves or in a gratitude journal or just mentally noting or talking about it with people, expressing it is also helpful. And then what gets in the way of gratitude? So many things. Mm, brings to mind another thing that helps us cultivate gratitude is protecting the sense doors. Mm, being noticing, how many times are we hanging out with and having talks with people that are really mm, aversive in their energy and in their speech. Uh, how much are we taking in the same news? It's very important to stay connected to global events and local, but how many times are you hearing it in a day? And so back to what gets in the way of gratitude is aversion, self-preoccupation, negativity, that negativity bias, assumptions, a lack of mindfulness, spacing out. In the Dharma, gratitude is I'll put the word down below in the YouTube notes here. Uh, Katanyo. So it's a compound word, and so the first part of the word Kata. This is in the Pali language, where the Buddha's discourses from the oral tradition were first written down, as far as we know. So kata, Kata, comes from the verb to do. So it has this active component. This is something we have intention and expression and mindfulness, this energy of a verb. And then anu, Annu, is a person who knows, one who knows. Again, it's the mindfulness. And so katanyu means that you literally know and appreciate what has been done, what is. In the Anguttara Nikaya, I'll write the suttas down below, but this one is Anguttara Nikaya 2.118. The Buddha said, "These two people are hard to find in the world." Which two? The one who is first to do a kindness, and secondly, the one who is grateful and thankful for a kindness done. In another sutta, 2.31, in the Anguttara Nikaya again, the Buddha said, "A person of integrity is grateful and thankful." This gratitude, this thankfulness is advocated by civil people. It is entirely on the level of people of integrity. So gratitude and thankfulness, these are considered to be rare and hard to find, people that really practice in this way and that are also generous and are people that we want to aspire to be and to look for, rare people. And that to see these people as treasures in our lives or to be a treasure in the lives of others. Mm, I'm just skipping through some notes. One sec. No. Wow, that was a lot of inner dialogue there. Whew, that was a big argument. I won. Okay, so here's a poem from Rosemary Watola Tromer called Gratitude, and I've put the link for it down below and here in the Zoom room. Ah, Rosemary. She says, gratitude, it happens, needs less room to grow than one might think, is able to find purchase on even the slenderest of ledges, is able to seed itself in even the poorest of soils. Just today, I marveled as a small gratitude took root in the desert of me, like a juniper tree growing out of red rock. If I hadn't felt it myself, I might not have believed it. But it's true. One small thankfulness can slip into an arid despair, and with it comes a change in the inner landscape, the scent of evergreen. So good. Small gratitude took root in the desert of me. Oh God, poets, where would we be without the poets? Uh, and as she says in this poem, if I hadn't felt it myself, I might not have believed it, right? If there wasn't that intention to turn towards it, to know it, to name it, it can easily slip by. And of course, this is the Dharma. The so in Pali, as I was saying, this word for gratitude, katanyu, literally means to have a sense of what was done or what is. And in the Samyutta Nikaya 48.10, the Buddha defines mindfulness as remembering and able to call to mind even things that were done and said long ago. So sati, remembering, is this quality. Mindfulness has this quality of remembering and paying attention and calling to mind. Um, that in a deeper state of concentration, probably on a long retreat, this can take root and hold its steadiness. But in our daily life, certainly, uh, or even on a shorter retreat, it takes a lot of energy and intention to pay attention, to be awake, to begin again. Mindfulness is really about begin again, begin again. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, feeling this breath. Wah, 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 wah. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, feeling the body. Beginning again, over and over and over. The same is true for gratitude. Hmm. And so we're going to practice now, but just want to circle back to Joanna Macy's teachings of how this absolutely uh, um, words. Hmm. we're out of time, is what I want to say. There's no more time to waste. There's no more time to be messing about and just chasing our own tails. We we're past the tipping point, and this work of this work that reconnects to really feel the pain of this world and move through it in a way that energizes us to continue connecting and visioning and going forth begins with this work of gratitude, filling our well, opening to how things are and what's here, and paying attention in this really precious, sweet way. Um, yeah, I love that this is the beginning place for this deep work. Yeah, so let's practice. I'm gonna have another sip of tea. Grateful for tea. Grateful for cute mug. I don't know if you can see. Look at that doggy. Isn't that sweet? No, you didn't miss it there. So sweet. And there's a little heart inside there. Right there. There's a little heart with the tea stains. Mm-mm. Gratitude for tea. All right, friends. Mm-mm. Setting aside distractions. Before you settle into maybe if you're fine with your eyes closed and feel tucked in already, that's totally fine. But you might want to take some time with this gratitude practice to also look around for a moment. Um, if you're practicing with us on the YouTube channel, unfortunately, you can only see me, but I get to see other faces of the Sangha here on the Zoom room. Much gratitude. If you have a window, might be helpful to look out that window. It's incredible light out there and trees and big sky, trees moving in the wind. Hopefully, as you look about in your space, you might see objects of beauty or peace or connection. So, letting this eye sense door really mm, nurture this practice so that when your eyes do come to rest, if you choose to rest your eyes downward or closed, uh, yeah, you can kind of feel those sparks of gratitude there through that eye sense door. Just like the feeling of the sun shining down on us, just letting awareness kind of be felt across the top of the head and the face, inviting whatever degree or sensations of relaxation you can access there. Letting the forehead be wide, the lower jaw heavy, mouth relaxed or relaxing. Feeling that warm light of awareness sweeping across the shoulders and down the neck. So the shoulder bones, remember, they can just slide down away from the earlobes. And if you find it helpful, perhaps a few slightly deeper breaths, just loosening up any tightness or stuckness or activation in the chest, the belly, the ribs. Feeling that big, expansive breath and the torso moving as it breathes. And as the breath returns to a natural breath, maybe feeling a little bit more softness or ease or loosening in through that part of the torso. Feeling the weight of those shoulders that slide down into relaxed hands. Feeling the inner layers of the abdomen. And when our nervous system is activated, these deep inner muscles contract and keep us in a fight or flight or freeze response. So see if some small degree of softening could come to the inner muscles of the abdomen. Or just some spacious kind of tension with however it is for you there. As the upper body begins and continues relaxing and settling, softening, we might now start to feel more weightedness, heaviness, groundedness through the pelvis, legs, and feet. And then from this embodied present moment, just sweeping a field of awareness around your whole body or being like a permeable bubble of awareness around you. And even though there may be parts of the body that we have opinions about, or dislikes, or aversions, or pain, not not bypassing that or suppressing it, but just turning towards what gratitudes are here that are not often paid attention to. Perhaps having hands or having less pain in a part of the body than at other times. What sense organs are available to you. our capacity to be conscious and mindful and knowing of the capacity to taste, to smell, to touch, hear, see, and to know. And like filling a clear glass with cool water, can let that gratitude just for this being, for whatever is well or whatever degree of gratitude is here in this body, letting it begin to fill the body. And perhaps there's sounds in your space that touch into a sense of gratitude. There may be sounds of other people in your living space or animal companions or neighbors. Or maybe able to hear birds outside or people moving by, vehicles, wind. Our capacity to hear music, to hear each other, to hear the Dharma. So we've spent some time at the beginning noticing the seeing sense door and those gratitudes. And then with the body, the touch sensations of feeling the body, hearing. There may be smells or tastes that are available in this moment. Letting it all fill you with that cool, clear, bright awareness, filling your well so that you feel more resourced and energized to continue the work. And now we'll pay attention to one of these interconnected, often taken for granted sensations of the breath. This aliveness, rare and precious vitality moving through this whole body. Tonight, we might just continue practicing feeling this breath or any of these other sensations that have been mentioned in a really spacious, interconnected way, not getting too tight or narrow on the anchor. And even though Joanna Macy dedicated her life to really close and deep work with this deep ecology and really not turning away from how things are, she was filled with gratitude, exuded gratitude, energized by gratitude. Allow yourself this gift, this generosity to yourself, to let yourself cultivate and feel and be mm, restored and energized by gratitude. So if it helps you to name things, a little silent gratitude practice for yourself, or you could say them out loud, or you can just be abiding in this felt experience. That we can become, as the Buddha said, a rare person ourselves, very hard to find in the world, one who is grateful and thankful. Hmm. Apologies, that first bell was a bit louder than I intended. Hope I didn't scare anyone. You never know how it comes through on the other end. Um, Before we log off, um, since we have a few moments, I was just going to direct you to this link to watch afterwards, but I think I'm going to end with it here. So this is from the grateful.org website. And there's a little 5 minute, actually just slightly under 5 minute video from Brother David Steindl Rast. And you can read more about him, and it's a lovely site. Uh, so we're just going to play this little video. Hopefully you can hear it. He has a strong accent, but you can always check it out after. I'll put the link down below. All right, let's do this together. And if I can find screen share, I might not. Oh, there, good. The big green button that says share. Ah, who knew? Oh, heavens. Okay, share. And then I want to expand this. And beautiful. Let's check it out.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. So rarely load whole different. It is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people you will meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. All that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. Turn a faucet and there's warm water and cold water and drinkable water. A gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. that everyone who you will meet on this day will be blessed by you,
Yeah.
just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. Then it will really be a good day.
Oh, thanks for practicing with us. Check the links down below if you've practiced with us on the YouTube channel and carry on.